This will be a continuation of 5-10, the very last page, page 205. We're going to look at Mr. Prado and how he makes his biodiesel fuel, and we will be reading Puzzled Penguin. So I'm glad you're here to follow along. So there's Mr. Prado, and he makes his own biodiesel fuel, but he mixes two things. It's vegetable oil and ethanol. The ratio is 5 liters of vegetable oil to 1 liter of ethanol. So for every 5 liters of vegetable oil, there's 1 liter of ethanol. The amount of vegetable oil and ethanol vary together. So when you have 5 liters of vegetable oil, you get 1 liter of ethanol. If you have 10 liters of vegetable oil, you have 2 liters of ethanol, and so on. For this part 8, we will be defining the variable. When we define the variable, we're also going to know how we are measuring it. So in this case, we're measuring it in liters. Yep, we're going to measure in liters for both the vegetable oil and the ethanol. When you're saying what the variables stand for, it is very important that we make sure we identify how we're measuring it. It could be seconds, it could be steps, it could be miles. In this case, it's liters. It's going to help us understand what we're talking about and visualize it. So in the table, the E will stand for the ethanol, and the V will stand for the vegetable oil. I'll fill out the first one, and we're going to fill it out with the 0 for the ethanol. So the vegetable oil will be 0. If I fill out the E with 1, the vegetable oil will be 5. That's because it's 5 per 1. So you fill out the next 2 with 2 liters of ethanol and 3 liters of ethanol. Okay, so you must have filled them out. And for 2 liters of ethanol, we'd have 10 liters of vegetable oil. For 3 liters of ethanol, we would have 15 liters of vegetable oil. And I included the 4. We would have 20 liters of vegetable oil. On the right-hand side, they're going up by 5. On the left-hand side, they're going up by 1. So it's nice that it's even on both sides as far as following the 5 and the 1 down the column, so it's not all over the place. And it is showing us that 5 liters per 1 for vegetable oil and the ethanol. So I numbered these, and I'm going to take a yellow on here, kind of like a macaroni and cheese yellow, and I'm going to start drawing these into squares. So it's like I have another set of my squares. So when I add another 5 of the vegetable oil, I would add 1 more of the ethanol. It's still keeping it 5 to 1. And I could count it up and really see if I had 2 ethanol, so of the orange, if I go over to the left to my table, I would have to have 5 ethanol, or 5 vegetable oil, and I can count it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it does match up. I could also write equations where I can plug in a number from my table, from V, like on this one. If I plugged in 5 for V, 5 divided by 5 is 1. And that is the same thing in my table. That's what I end up for E. Now I'm attending to precision because I do not want to flip my variables, and I also do not want to flip my numbers. So here we go. Dear math students, that's you. I thought that because Mr. Prado's ratio of vegetable oil to ethanol was 5 to 1, I could write the equation 5V is equal to E. My teacher said my equation was not correct. Please help me understand why. So let's look at this. If we have 5V is equal to E, and we're going to pick that 5 liters of vegetable oil. We plug that in for the V, and we get an answer of 25. Wow, that is definitely not what we have on the table. So make sure you write back to Puzzled Penguin, and I'll see you back shortly. What could it be? Now, because this definitely does not make sense, and it does not match. So there must be something going on. Well, let's write back. Dearest, my BFF forever, Puzzled Penguin. Just don't want to let him down. And my eyes keep glancing up at that equation. Where could he have gone wrong? I think I might know. So If V was equal to 1 liter, then the answer would be correct. Right? Well, we'll see. So when we plug that in, if V equaled 1, we might be able to get the same answer of 5, but he has his numbers completely mixed up because he put 5V equals E. Whatever number I put into V will always be bigger than the E. But it ends up where the 5V is going to look differently. It should be 5E because in our diagram we can see for every 1 orange there are 5 yellow boxes. So that's why it makes sense to have 5E. 5V does not bring the right ratio. So you need 5 liters of vegetable oil to 1 liter of ethanol. That's the correct ratio. In the case that he used, he had it flipped. So his variables were not correct and nor were the numbers. When we read Puzzled Penguin and we respond to Puzzled Penguin, we are attending to precision and we are critiquing the work of others, which is important when you're being a mathematician on a mission. I hope you enjoyed this video, especially getting down into the business of Puzzled Penguin, and I'm glad we can work on this together. And a big shout out to Mrs. Smith for being so helpful, and I appreciate it, but I hope you have a great day.